Hello, welcome back to Tab University. My name's Katrina Hindley. Today I'm joined by two special guests. We've obviously got Nick, who returns on behalf of Tab. Hello, Nick.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm also joined by Kofi Bartels-Kodro. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tab U. Before we kick off, Kofi, can I ask you to just introduce yourself, let us know where you're from, what you do, and all of that jazz?
Sure. So, Kofi from South London, Ghana, however you want to pose the question. But I'm the founder of £1 Million Homes and MPH Agency. MPH Agency is a social media marketing agency for property businesses. £1 Million Homes is a lovely platform where we showcase the UK's best homes. We've sold some homes, we've let some homes, and we've done some interesting things. So, yeah.
Great. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you
very much. And Nick, would you like to give our listeners a reminder of who you are?
Yeah, back from after a hiatus. So I'm Nick Russell. I am the sales director of Tab and delighted to be back in the hot seat.
Yeah, you are indeed. Well, so the format of today's podcast is going to be we're going to go through 3 facts based around social media and real estate and everything like that. Then I'm going to ask you some of the key questions that are being asked on Google and in general what I think our viewers might want to find out. Kick things off with fact number 1, which is the UK was home to 56 million social media users in January 2024, equating to 82.8% of total population. So I imagine being a social media agency for homes is probably well placed with that many users.
There's a lot of people on there that want a home.
Yeah. Do you find, I guess, is that a stat that sort of tallies with what you see or expect?
To be fair, I'm surprised not more. But yeah, it kind of makes sense in the world that we're in, because social media, obviously when we think about social media, we might just think, Facebook or Instagram, but it stretches to LinkedIn, Pinterest. My mum's on Pinterest, Twitter. There's so many different platforms, so it makes sense that everyone kind of has one form of social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have expected it to be more.
And is there one for £1 Million Homes that sort of stands out as a bit of a key driver, or is it across? Well, as an agency, you kind of looking at every single platform that.
Yeah. So as the agency, we do a lot of work on Instagram and TikTok for other people. Mm-hmm. For £1 Million Homes, Instagram has been the main platform where we've got most of our followers. I definitely should have diversified a lot more and done more on YouTube and TikTok, but the agency takes precedent. Yeah. But Instagram has definitely been the main platform for us. We see TikTok has been the best for the last few years for growth, especially with short form content, and Instagram following the format with Reels. But TikTok has been great for real estate across the board. I would say, but for £1 Million Homes as a platform, Instagram's the main one for us.
Amazing. Okay, well, here we go. 90% of surveyed real estates use Facebook to promote their listings and connect with potential clients. Instagram's also a popular social media network with 52% of real estate agents. Now, I guess that's kind of, do you work as £1 Million Homes, or MPH, do you work with real estate agents or kind of individuals?
So we work with estate agents, property developers, estate agents mainly. So they feature their listings the most out of everybody else. For more longer term contracts and campaigns, it's more property developers that we work with that are looking to sell multiple units. But we've also had contractors that are looking for bigger clients. So every business has their sort of key service that keeps the lights on. So for architects, it might be loft conversions, extensions, etc. But they want bigger contracts. They want whole build and design contracts. And that's where we come in as an agency to help people get more bigger contracts, higher paying business. Instead of getting a 250k project, you want a £1 million project. And that's where we come in to try and help them become a bit more exciting via social media. So,
And are you promoting that through your platform and across help building their platforms as well?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So we want people to have their own platforms. So that's kind of why you would want to work with us, because we're not saying just drive it through £1 Million Homes. We want you to have your own platform and drive your own traffic. So eventually you probably won't need us if you know what you're doing, and you probably have your own in-house marketing team, which is fine. But in order to get to that stage, you need some form of expertise. And that's why I would say portals have not been the most popular with estate agents, because Rightmove holds everything, keeps everything. and they'll give you some leads, but they're not promoting the individual estate agents. They're not promoting the individual property developers. So you can't build your own brand off Rightmove. You'll get the leads, but you can't get your own brand. Where social media, you can build your own brand. And that's what we're pushing. That's what we're trying to help people do.
Got it. Well, final fact, 33% of buyers find their dream property through social media. Would sound about right to you, or would you say it's going on the up?
It has to be less.
Less?
Dream, because I would say, obviously everyone's dream home is different, but I would
Mine
say
are pretty much every single one on your Instagram account. I'm like, yes.
But yeah,
I will settle with that.
Yeah, I would say probably less, but through Instagram or social media in
just
general.
through social media.
Through social media, it's probably less. But it would definitely get there. It would definitely be there. But and I could see why through what we've done. I can definitely see why. But I would say
we're going to move on to the questions, and this will be the bit where you can tell us all about your experience. Starting with question 1, how effective has social media been as a platform for marketing and selling homes compared to traditional methods?
So even linking that to the dream homes part, I would say, especially for, trophy homes, really exciting homes, modern, contemporary, unique homes, social media is like the perfect place to showcase those type of homes, because you can create FOMO, you can create really exciting content around it. Our sort of main home that we sold was the most expensive home definitely in the West Midlands. I don't know if it was the whole of the Midlands, but it was definitely in the West Midlands. And that was via Instagram through a video and some nice pictures that sold. We had a sale agreed in 3 days.
Wow.
So I think now it's the second most expensive home in the West Midlands. But that was just through creating excitement, FOMO, etc. So for particular types of homes, I would definitely say that it's definitely a unique, not unique. It's definitely a key platform that you can use to sell homes, to let homes. But I would say for your everyday home that's not the most Instagrammable, which is the term that we use, I would say traditional marketing in unison with social media marketing is probably the most effective way of being able to get a deal done.
I can imagine this sort of, if you're taking a photo of a toilet that's sort of not covered in marble and all of that isn't going to go down well on Instagram.
You're going to get a quick swipe away.
Yeah. So it's obviously there's people that have been very creative in the ways that they showcase homes that are not the most desirable by talking about the development potential or refurbishment potential, or the area or other aspects. So there's ways to be creative in terms of marketing, but I would say for your new build homes, finished, lovely, that is social media is the place.
Yeah.
But I would say for the other aspect, traditional marketing, as a combining that with social media marketing, I definitely think will maximize the reach for that particular property.
Right, here's where I go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Do you think that the rise in Netflix shows and other platforms, right, around very expensive properties has seen a spike in interest through social media for pages like yours? So, the Selling Sunset, all those sorts of things. There's been a whole thing about really expensive homes.
Yeah.
I know everyone's always been interested in amazing homes. We all have, right? But do you think that spike has seen a follow-on shift to social media pages?
100%. And the thing is, when Selling Sunset came out, I was very like, what is this? Like this is, it's not real. It's not this. It's not. So I think a lot of people tend to have that, but then you buy into the drama to some extent.
Of course. It's just
it's great.
Just drama with homes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But so you buy into the drama, you buy into.
If I don't watch it, I know. We don't watch it.
I watch the first season. Yeah. But my
favorite program.
You buy into like the drama, the stories, etc., and then you see the homes. You're like, wow. But then, as I said, you can have a particular mentality where it's like, they're not real agents. They're not this. They're not that. But then, the amount of comments, messages, and I think the biggest uptake is the younger people. So somebody who's 16 that watches Selling Sunset, they then see my page and they want to work in property. So you'd be surprised that over the last 4 or 5 years, the amount of people that have said they want to get, as soon as somebody says they want to get into real estate, they want to get, I know they've watched Selling Sunset, or they've seen Ryan Seahorn, and they've seen one of those programs and they want to get into property. Yeah. So there's a massive uptake of people wanting to work in property, which I didn't really anticipate. But then in
They
terms
want
of
to work in the 0.001% value
of course,
of properties,
yeah,
right?
of
And
course,
that's
they
just
want to work
such
with
a
the best
small-
homes.
It's the
and all
smallest
that,
market
yeah.
in terms of actual number of homes and
course.
positions available. But
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see why it looks very glamorous.
But then if they then know that, they start to look into it, then they start to realize, okay, maybe they need to work their way up, or there's something else that they need to do, or maybe they want to build homes, maybe they want to be an architect. So it inspires them to do other aspects of property that they didn't really think about before. But in terms of from a transactional standpoint, I haven't seen that being a key reason why people, that someone saw Selling Sunset, found my page, and they wanted to buy a home. I haven't necessarily seen that, but the main agents, the bigger agents, they may have seen that uptake. So I'd say for my.
But the interest in maybe following pages,
Yeah.
maybe yours and others' followings have grown as a result. People just becoming a bit more interested in that.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, people are definitely interested in aspirational,
of course,
aspirational homes, etc. And they want to see what's going on in the UK. I would, and then maybe I'm biased, but I would say something like Selling Sunset wouldn't have done that for like my page in particular. So there's like a few bigger pages in the UK that, you know, showcase these types of homes. That would have literally been because we were the only ones showing really nice homes in the UK. And I know for myself, part of the reasons why we did quite a few transactions in the early days is because we were showcasing homes that were off market. I was going on Zoopla sold archives, showing before pictures, going on House, Pinterest, finding after pictures and connecting the dots. So that's when people were like, oh no, you can find me a home. Yeah. So that's, I would say, obviously I'm biased, but I would say a lot of the content we were putting out early, especially during COVID, that's when we saw a massive uptake.
And how did you kind of get into it? Did it start with just taking, like, having an interest in beautiful homes and space, and then all of a sudden it...
To be fair, it's funny. I didn't really, no, I don't. Now I do. I didn't really care about like expensive homes, because even now when we do a lot of shoots, I will go to the properties if necessary, but I don't like always going to the property because you have to go home. If you keep going to a £25 million home and every single day and you go home, it's just a
bit demoralising.
My toilet's still not in marble.
But no, it's a thing where I'm not like oh my God, wow, every day. That doesn't really bother me. It's what I saw was, I've been investing in property for the last 8 years, so I had a number of buy-to-lets, portfolio landlord, and when looking at new ways to get deals, I was looking at, everywhere. So you're always talking about off-market deals, going on portals, you see the same deals. And I'm from the social media generation. I'm not saying anyone's old, but I'm for my age group, Facebook, Instagram was the main platform. So I thought, okay, Instagram must have some deals. Facebook must have some deals. And if you're always looking at property, then you would see property come up on your feed. And I would always see American homes, Australian homes, homes in Asia that looked amazing, but you would never see UK homes. So then that's when I thought, okay, maybe we should start showcasing more UK homes. And I just started taking pictures of Rightmove and putting them on Instagram. And I got in the Times, I think a few months later, talking about the new way of selling homes. And I didn't really think about monetizing it, but I even said in the article, I hope basically to make money one day selling homes via social media, something like that. So it kind of came the business came organically, especially during COVID when people were asking me to help them find homes. But yeah, a lot of it was kind of seeing an opportunity, thinking, okay, this might make sense, and then connecting the dots from there.
Amazing.
So yeah.
And what kind of trends have you seen over the years? Like, how has it moved from when you started Rightmove pictures before and afters? Is that still something you do? Is that still popular, or has it kind of shifted?
So pictures were the main thing before. You could get away with just posting pictures. And then TikTok changed obviously to video being more engaging, and that's what people wanted to see. So we saw massive growth when we were posting pictures before and after pictures, just nice pictures in general. And then with video coming in, it was difficult because we were still in lockdown. So it was hard to actually go out and get as much video as you wanted to. But two, there isn't a lot of video content. So we repurpose a lot of content from other platforms where we do featuring or we showcase other people's content and always credit. But there wasn't a lot of good video content in the UK of these types of homes. There was a lot of pictures. But because of privacy and the way that we are as a culture, we're very reserved in general. There wasn't a lot of video, so it was kind of hard to transition. But then you can go out, you can create video, and other people start showcasing video, so then it eventually caught up. But short form video came in, seeing something for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then now it's more around storytelling and individual creator stories, personal brands. People want to hear the story behind something. They want to see people, they want to see faces. And that's why you can sell, it's easier to sell 250k home now because you tell a story, as opposed to before, people just want to see £5 million homes, £5 million homes. So now you could be a cleaner, you could be a landscaper, you could be anyone. As long as you're interesting or you talk about what it is that you do, you can gain a massive audience.
Oh, wow.
Massive audience. I don't know if you've seen the pool guy.
Yeah, I follow him.
I don't know how many millions of followers and subscribers that he has, but he's just being himself.
Yeah.
Providing a service, a good service, but providing a service, being himself, and he's got millions of followers. And large brands would pay millions to be able to get the kind of engagement that he does. So,
and it's just the story that's behind it.
It's the story that's behind it and being authentic.
Okay, well, next question was what type of content tends to generate the most interest? You sort of briefly touched on video, short form video, storytelling. Do you tailor specifically for each platform, or is it pretty, can you do both, basically?
I would say that before you would say, YouTube obviously is longer form content. So you need to engage your audience for a particular period of time, but then you've got YouTube Shorts. But YouTube Shorts and TikTok and Instagram are pretty similar.
Yeah.
So I would say it doesn't even really matter. As long as you know your audience, whatever you put out is what you get back realistically. So if you consistently put out engaging content on whatever platform, people are going to buy into it. Obviously, there's elements of SEO that come into it. Your hooks, the format of your content, who you partner with, other influencers, bringing on other interesting people. Obviously, there's a lot of facial recognition with social media. So if you have particular faces in your editing, then it's going to pick up. So that is the same principle on every platform, realistically. So that you could say on TikTok it's more of a younger generation. So make it a bit more, have more sound bites, have more hooks. You can say that. You could also say the same thing for Instagram. Make it a bit more engaging. But I would say put out great content and you'll see how
find your
works.
audience.
You'll find your audience will find you. Yeah, literally. So.
And how much, I guess, kind of particularly with LinkedIn. I know we obviously have a LinkedIn tab, and there's always kind of little tricks to sort of, beat the algorithm. I don't know if they work or not, but you sort of are kind of sat there going, I could do all of this. And would you just kind of recommend just posting consistently good content and, ultimately it'll drive? Or do you kind of look into how to beat the bots?
I think before it was more around, there was a lot more like growth hacking tactics that you could do. So on Instagram in particular, for example, you could do like follow for follow, or you could use certain bots and commenting and this and that. But the good content just gets you so much further that there's no point of doing a lot of the growth hacking tactics, because you might have a large following and low engagement, so then you don't really get much conversion, and it's just vanity metrics.
Followers at times.
Yeah,
right? And there's 17 likes, but they've got like 20,000 followers.
So it just, if you've got 3,000 followers and your engagement is 20%, then that is amazing. You can keep it. The followers don't really matter as much. So I would say for LinkedIn, it's a similar principle. Obviously, it's just written content, but it's a similar principle. Just write what is the problem that you're solving, and if you continuously put out content that addresses that problem or highlights that problem to the people that you're speaking to, they will find you, because they're always looking for ways to solve that problem. So the algorithm will just match you up. Literally.
Well, do you leverage the different features to incorporate into strategies? So where you've got TikTok short form, younger audience, are you kind of thinking, this I don't know, let's say you get a property that someone wants to sell and it's got a climbing wall? I don't know, is that what young people are into? I guess so. Bouldering, there you go. And you kind of go, actually, this is probably going to go down quite well on this platform. Let's tailor the videos to TikTok, but obviously post them out on Instagram as well. But maybe you would focus on a TikTok short form before that, or is it just?
I would say. So when you say features, are you talking about features of a property or features of the actual platform?
Both, I guess. I guess it's like, do you marry the kind of features of a property that like this is going to be a person on Instagram isn't going to be buying this house.
So everyone loves a pool, indoor pool, outdoor pool. Like, so that's, for example, you're always going to want to showcase a pool, a home cinema, even possibly like a home gym.
Yeah.
So those are like very common features that, to be fair, everybody wants to see, and they tend to gain a lot of traction in that sense. But I would say it's, once again, not necessarily platform specific. I would say more people want, those are like quite common features of a particular type of home. So even at lower priced homes, people want to see the length of a garden or the size of a garden. That's quite important, for example. So I would say it's not really different on social media than on even like a portal, for example. It's pretty much the same. So we don't necessarily need to tailor it in that sense. But obviously, £1 Million Homes is different. But in terms of the actual features of the platform, so for example, like broadcast channels on Instagram, community is a massive thing on social media now. So you need to build your own community, whether it's a free community, paid community, but you need some form of a community. So broadcast channels is great because you can send out a property first to your community so that they get exclusive access to see certain homes. So that's a feature on Instagram that you could use. E-com products, they're using TikTok Shop and making a lot of money through TikTok Shop. So we don't necessarily do that, but that's another avenue people could use.
Is that a feature you might bring in? Buy now in 2 clicks.
So but that's the thing. If it's all up to the social media platforms, you could do that for property.
Yeah.
I don't know what the red tape is and what the issues will be around that, but if you could pay a reservation fee for a new build via TikTok or Instagram, they'd clean up.
Yeah.
Heard it here first.
Well, it does kind of move us quite nicely on to where do you see the use of social media for selling properties going in the next 5 years?
Right there. Making it more transactional. I know, for example, Elon Musk was trying to make Twitter more of a payments platform, which makes sense if people can trade and buy and sell things with each other directly via the platform. But Facebook could do that. I don't know what, as I said, the red tape is or what the issues are financially or financial FCA regulations, whatever it is. But if via Facebook Marketplace they were actually taking a cut of all the transactions, then it would make sense. But if we could, as I said, sell directly to, if you could let properties via social media, if you could sell properties via social media, or even just pay a form of reservation fee via social media, I would say it would be it would make a lot more sense to be a lot more transactional, and you wouldn't need portals as much.
Okay. So this is a bit too far. Is this the death of the estate agent?
Estate agents will never go away. Then they'll never go away. They'll just adapt their models. So like, for example, now obviously there's been a massive rise. I don't know what the exact percentage is, but there was a huge spike of people transitioning from corporate to self-employed estate agents, especially over COVID. People becoming more entrepreneurial. People want more like time, freedom, etc. A lot of people will end up going back after month 4 once a deal doesn't close. But ultimately, like if the platform becomes more transactional, then you don't necessarily even need to go to a brokerage. You can be a standalone agent with your own insurance and just trade directly via social media. So everyone will still need an agent. We'll still need a middleman. It's just they would adapt and become more of a go-to person for your lending, for your interior design, for your architect, for advice, and then it might be 3 of them in a firm or 1 of them as an independent. So estate agents won't.
They're becoming more and more marketing agencies on their own, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's really what estate agents are now today. Because I, as I said, I'm more of an investor, so it's different. But even as an investor, I don't phone up the estate agent and talk to them about where the market's going in 5 years, because if they're the selling agent, they're going to tell me everything I need to know to get me to buy this property. So it's more they're a lot of the selling agent's role is the marketing in my opinion. So we, as I said, we work with a lot of estate agents to market their properties. So if they had that marketing function, now a lot of them are, you see it with Savills, Knight Frank, even some of the smaller ones, you know, Ralph James, Stone, they've got these wonderful marketing platforms, but they're also advisors as well. So there's it's like a two-pronged approach in that sense.
I've always said I never think you're rid the human element of real estate.
Yeah.
I think it's still the most important thing. Relationships, you've still got to bring people in to your marketing, estate agency, whatever you mean. And well, you know, that can't always just be done by visuals. You still need that human, that relationship, that can we build one-on-one sort of relationship.
100%. I think even more so now. Before I was the kind of person that I just want to go online, I just want to search whatever. I don't talk to me. Let me just find whatever I need online. Now I'm more likely to phone someone and just say, tell me everything I need to know about this particular thing. So if as I said, the roles do adapt and it becomes a lot more like that, then I think it'll be a lot more favorable for people that maybe buy more, as I said, more in the higher end of the market, or more for investors. People like to work with particular types of people. So yeah, I don't think they'll ever go away. Where
do you see AI having a role within social media, real estate, marketing? Or do you see AI having a role?
Oh yeah, 100%. AI will take over a lot of things that are really, really basic roles at the moment. So I use ChatGPT a lot. But so firstly, you've got content creation, even from an image generation perspective. As I said, we were talking about properties that are not necessarily in the best condition. So when it comes to CGIs or when it comes to staging, AI could be there. When it comes to making marketing collateral, Canva has AI now. I use a platform to enhance the resolution of images called Let's Enhance. That is I believe that's an AI tool to actually increase the resolution of images. From a copy perspective, writing marketing copy on properties is the longest thing in the world. So I mean, AI copywriting is pretty standard at this moment of time. Lead generation, lead qualifying, so being able to assess the quality of a particular lead, that can be done via AI, can be done via chatbots, for example, which is happening now. So I think a lot of frontline things, really basic roles, can be done by AI. But obviously that doesn't necessarily remove the need to speak to somebody eventually. But I mean, a lot of the initial questions, I want to know what the council tax is. What is the council tax band for this rate? I don't need to speak to somebody over the phone. Well, how long's the lease? I don't need to speak to somebody. Just give me all the information directly, and AI can do a lot of those things. So I would say, it's definitely going to be more useful. It's just about adapting the culture for professionals in this space.
Is there a social media platform that you think will fall first? Like, as in, like, do you think that, you know, because we look back, we had MySpace, Bebo.
Yeah.
I don't know if they exist. I don't think Bebo does.
I don't.
But do you see sort of like, obviously there's been the move from kind of Facebook, then Instagram, then sort of now TikTok, and you've obviously got YouTube kind of always been really there in the background. Well, it's probably massive. It's quite big now. But yeah, do you see any of the kind of current ones? Well, Snapchat as well, like that's picking up.
Yeah, Snapchat picked up again. I don't know if any of them will fall. Obviously, TikTok, they're trying. I mean, as hard as they can to get banned from this place and that place, and that is. There's obviously multiple reasons why they're trying to do that, but I don't know about fall because there's just they're all backed by so much money and have so much data and have so much influence politically that once again I just don't see how that would happen.
They keep evolving, don't they? And I think when you're evolving, you've always got a chance of staying ahead. Yeah, like Facebook was the one, right? Yeah. When we were younger. I was younger. It was the one, but it's now adapted from connecting with your friends to what I see, and I don't really use it as a notice board. Yeah, it's a notice board for everything. Yeah. Personally, like you said, for real estate, people use it for groups. Yeah, interests. Interest groups. Yeah. Whereas before, it was the place where you connected with your friends, your mate from 15 years ago that you haven't seen. Yeah. The roles just changed. The roles have changed for different ones, and they're just adapting to find their own place and whatever trend moves at the time. Much like Instagram introduced
Yeah.
Reels, because
Yeah.
they didn't, they would have fallen well behind
Yeah.
TikTok.
But that's the thing with obviously how the business is changing. Like Facebook obviously own Instagram, and they have, all of these different subsidiaries. So they're not, or Meta. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. TikTok, in my opinion, is just too strong and too powerful. That whatever they do with their algorithm, whatever it is crazy how it has people so hooked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't see any of them going anywhere anytime soon. But I will definitely say that obviously for property professionals in general, TikTok and YouTube are definitely the two platforms that people should really be focusing on building their own brand, personal brands, and obviously company brand. So, yeah.
Final question, that I've got here, is what are some of the common challenges real estate agents face when using social media for marketing?
They hate the camera. That's pretty much that's the first thing. And it's understandable because I'm not the most like in your face camera, but I'm not that kind of person. So I really do understand it. But because people hate the camera, they'll do everything they can to avoid making content.
Self-doubt and consistency over a long time.
Yeah. Which, as I said, I am a massive hypocrite, by the way. But because we do a lot of content, we can just see it. After the first, the second, the third, after the third one, you'll be fine. But it's that idea, is it cringe, or do people see me in a particular type of way? But it's marketing, isn't it? So you just got to do, it's like, if that's what you need to do in order to sell this property or to build your brand, then it is what it is. Who cares what people what
Change,
people think?
take a different path.
There's always going to be someone that doesn't like you, someone that does like you. Everyone likes different things, different people.
Who cares?
And other people that criticise, it's only because they won't do it themselves.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think anybody like who's actually doing things to move, like doing things or marketing themselves, or maybe even self-employed, or even just ambitious, is going to sit there and look at someone who's actually trying to make content and go and comment, what the hell are you doing? No one's going to do that. And if they are, they are unhappy with themselves. Yeah. It doesn't really make sense. Fair. So everyone judges at home, innit? But who cares? You're not there. So,
yeah, true.
Yeah, I would say they're just camera shy, and it just needs to be a bit more. As I said, that there's no template, there's no particular way of doing things. Just be authentic, and your audience will find you, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what tips would you give someone to get over camera shy, or like if you've got a new client and you're kind of setting them up with your agency and trying to figure out a plan and a strategy or whatnot, and they go, well, I'm certainly not going to get on camera, and you're like, well, look, part of it is the story, they want to see who's behind it, etc. What kind of tip, like if you could leave one, or just be like, look, this is the one thing you should absolutely do, what would it be?
So it depends on, so there's like two types. So you've got let's say you're going to do content on in your room or a listing, and you're filming yourself. That one it's literally you and the camera. So nobody has seen this yet. So you can take 100 takes, 50 takes, it doesn't matter. Nobody has seen the content yet. It's just you. So it's better for you to practice on your own and put it out there, send it to people if you want to see, what is the feedback? Are you being clear? Is there a way that you should, you can do that. Don't send it to too many people, but send it to a few people just to get some feedback on maybe how you can articulate yourself better, how you can present better, etc. But the quicker you get over it,
also, not your mum should just tell you it's wonderful.
Yeah, your mum tells you it's amazing. Yeah. But the quicker you put it out, the quicker you'll get over it, and the quicker you can actually start to benefit from putting out content. So I would just say, just stop wasting time and just put it out realistically. Yeah. But then there's also sort of like even productions like this when you're being filmed with a videographer. I think candid shots are always better. So, for example, we were speaking before the interview. If that was recording, I don't know if it was recording or not, but if it was recording and you were to show me what it looked like before we even started, but you showed me like candid shots, then I'd get more comfortable with what I look like, what I sound like on camera, and then I can adjust because I've actually seen what I look like and what I sound like. So I think candid shots are definitely better for people that are not the most confident on camera. But as I said, I think the best thing is just the quicker you get over it, the quicker we can sort of move forward. So we've just got to we've got to do it. So let's make it as comfortable as possible, but let's hurry up and put it out.
And I like to, in this new format, Nick, you might not have seen this one. I like to ask my guests for a funny or unusual story from your experience of the real estate world, whether that's a personal as an investor or whether that's, running a business in this market, or is there something you can think of that you can share with our audience that it's just kind of left you laughing on the floor?
Yeah, so none of them were funny at the time. But through MPH, one of the first people that one of the quite early inquiries was somebody saying that they've got £5 million. No, they made about 70 or 80 million pounds during COVID through selling PPE. He had a shop before. He wasn't he wasn't in PPE. He wasn't rich by any means before, but he made a lot of money during COVID selling PPE. Obviously, I thought the inquiry was fake because at that time, somebody has 50 followers, got no picture, you're not sure. Sent proof of funds. The funds are real, and they wanted help finding a home, so we actually connected the dots and helped them find a home. So it's a £5.5 million home somewhere in home counties, and I went through a lot of hurdles actually trying to get them to do viewings because, as I said, firstly, that was quite early for me. I'm saying I've got an Instagram page and I've got somebody who's got X amount of millions. People are not taking me serious. But we finally got into a home. We agreed, we had the sale agreed. It will go. Everything was going through, and on the day of exchange, it fell through. But mentally, I'd already spent the money. But because this was our first transaction. But what was the confusing thing was the amount of money that was made selling PPE and the invoices and the different transactions, and this was a very normal guy that came through and selling, and he went through source of wealth and he went through everything. But this guy he made it over a few months during COVID, so I would say that was the most. It definitely wasn't funny when it fell through. It was definitely a very odd story, but actually was very interesting to see, especially early on, how people made their money.
Yeah.
And made a lot of money in a short space of time. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. And thank you very much for joining us. Any last bits from you, Nick?
No, really interesting, actually. I found that fascinating.
Yeah, no, I've got a few notes to take back.
What's your handles that people should follow?
So, £1 Million Homes, follow £1 Million Homes on Instagram, YouTube. We're going to be posting a lot more original content on YouTube, TikTok. Personal is Kofs BK, so KOFS BK, and it would just be a lot of stories about me, about Arsenal, Ghana, and me making jokes on my personal story. Yeah,
no, I did find this interesting.
And me making jokes on my story. But if you want property content, follow £1 Million Homes.
Great.
Brilliant.
I will leave all of the show handles in the show notes. Sorry, all of your handles in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Kofi. Looking forward to seeing you all next time. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do what you need to do. See you then. Bye.
We out.